The Call of the Rift, Flight, by Jae Waller. This is an ECW Press audiobook, narrated by Sera-Lys Mcarthur. For Rob, my one and always. Chapter 1. Ail du Yon. Ouch! I cursed under my breath and sucked on the line of blood that appeared across my thumb. You're doing it wrong. Fendul took my hunting knife and peeled a curl of dark wood from the palm-sized figurine. Hold it like this. You'll stab yourself in the gut otherwise. Nay, it doesn't work that way. I yanked it back from him. We sat cross-legged on the rocky beach of Kotula-Huin, a still glacial lake. Drifts of fog surrounded us. Colossal hills loomed over the valley, its dense layer of trees barely visible against the dark sky. A dull pink glow silhouetted the jagged peaks to our right. Behind us, the forest dripped. My fingers were too damp to grip the rawhide cord wrapped around my bone knife. Voices drifted down the shoreline. Don't you have somewhere to be? I asked. Fendul shrugged. Not until the ceremony starts. So you're up this early for the fun of it? I rolled my eyes. I'd been awake for an hour already drying wood for a bonfire, along with my Aunt Izu and 3 others who'd spent years learning to call water. Our skills weren't usually required so early in the morning. Otherwise, I might have been more reluctant to learn. Not that I had much choice. As the eldest, and only, child of an Antayul, I was bound by custom to become one as well. I bent my head over the driftwood. In my peripheral vision, I saw Fendul tossing a stone from hand to hand. Can you stop that? The stone fell with a clatter. Concentration conquers distraction. Don't underestimate yourself, I muttered. Ever consider I'm not the problem? Ever consider shutting up? I tossed my knife away and flopped backwards, piling my hair into a pillow. Fendul's face appeared in my field of vision. We shared the same dark eyes, sharp features, and wiry build. Even after a summer apart, our skin had tanned to the same warm, muted shade. But while my light brown hair spilled past my waist, his hair was charcoal black and cropped short. We didn't have much choice in that either. He couldn't grow his long until he married. I'd never been allowed to cut my hair, and never would be. His amulet swung back and forth as he leaned over me. I reached up as if to touch the crow, carved from a black shark tooth, then pushed on Fendul's bare chest. You're blocking my view. Of what? It's barely light. Of the clouds, bludgehead. Come on, try again. He grabbed my hand and pulled me upright. I sighed and picked up the knife, letting him place my hands in what he insisted was the right position. What is that, a fox? He asked. Nay. I could hear the pressure to elaborate. It's a wolf. That's not the color used for wolves. Lighter wood is more suited to... I stared at him. He trailed off. Without breaking eye contact, I flipped the figurine over my shoulder. It rustled through some bushes and thumped to the ground. He muttered something that sounded like immature. The clouds were brightening, turning pale pink and white like the smooth rocks I used to collect from creeks. The lake was turning turquoise. I stood up and sheathed my knife at my back next to my throwing dagger. I'm going to find Neely. I wandered down the shore. The beach would only exist for a few more days now that the autumn rains had started. Kotula-Huin sat in the eastern reaches of Anwenbel, a rainforest where everything was wet, covered in moss or covered in wet moss. Dozens of canoes made from hollowed tree trunks had been pulled up past flood level. My father had carved our family's canoe. A thin-billed kinaru with its long, slender neck rose from the prow, its wings flowing down the sides. Supposedly, our ancestors came from a kinaru egg laid on this very spot.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?